Hey there, and welcome to today's video. Before you even think about skipping ahead or clicking away, I want you to know that what I'm about to share with you isn't just another motivational video. It's a collection of ancient wisdom that has literally transformed millions of lives over the past 2,000 years, including my own. These are battle-tested principles that emperors, philosophers, and some of the world's most successful people have used to overcome seemingly impossible challenges. In fact, Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful Roman emperors, wrote something that perfectly captures why you need to hear this. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. But here's the thing. While this sounds simple, understanding how to actually apply this wisdom to your life makes all the difference. And that's exactly what we're going to explore today. You see, in our world of constant distraction and instant gratification, we're often looking for quick fixes and easy solutions. But the ancient Stoics knew something that most people today have forgotten. True, unstoppable power comes from within, and it's built through consistent practice of certain fundamental principles. The 7 Stoic lessons I'm about to share with you aren't just philosophical concepts. They're practical tools that you can start using today to transform your life. These are the same principles that helped Epictetus rise from slavery to become one of the most respected philosophers in Rome. And they're the same principles that modern leaders and entrepreneurs use to build resilience and achieve their goals. So, let me ask you this. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by circumstances beyond your control? Have you ever wished you could maintain your peace of mind, regardless of what life throws at you? Have you ever wondered how some people seem to thrive under pressure while others crumble? Well, that's exactly what we're going to address today. Let's begin with our first Stoic lesson. And I promise you, this one alone could completely change how you view every challenge in your life. Lesson 1. The dichotomy of control. Imagine for a moment that your life is like a garden. Some things, like the weather, the soil quality you inherited, or what your neighbors do with their gardens, these are completely outside your control. But other things, how you tend to your garden when you water it, how you protect it from weeds, these are entirely within your control. This is what Epictetus meant when he wrote, "Some things are in our control and others not." This might sound obvious at first, but here's where it gets powerful. Most of our suffering comes from obsessing over things we can't control while neglecting what we actually can influence. We worry about what others think of us, stress about the economy, or anxiety over past mistakes, all things beyond our control, while ignoring our current choices, reactions, and attitudes, which are completely within our power to change. As Epictetus further explained, there is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. This isn't just ancient wisdom, it's a practical strategy for becoming unstoppable. When you focus exclusively on what you can control, you stop wasting energy on futile worries and channel all your power into effective action. Think about it this way. Have you ever noticed how much mental and emotional energy you spend on things you can't change? That promotion you didn't get last year, the traffic that made you late, or that person who didn't return your call. How much of your precious life force have you spent on these uncontrollable elements? The Stoics taught us that true power comes from recognizing this distinction and acting accordingly. When you face any situation, the first question should always be, what aspects of this are under my control? This simple question can transform how you approach every challenge in your life. Lesson 2. Embrace discomfort. Let me share something powerful that Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a person perfected without trials. This brings us to our second lesson, which might seem counterintuitive at first, but trust me, it's transformative. In today's world, we're constantly seeking comfort. Our entire society is built around making things easier, more convenient, more comfortable. But here's the paradox. This pursuit of comfort is actually making us weaker, more anxious, and less capable of handling life's inevitable challenges. The Stoics understood something profound. Voluntary discomfort is one of the greatest teachers we can have. Marcus Aurelius, who dealt with constant warfare, political intrigue, and even a devastating plague during his reign, wrote in his personal journal, "The obstacle in the path becomes the path." Never forget, within every obstacle is an opportunity to improve our condition. Think about this. When was the last time you intentionally did something difficult? When did you last push yourself beyond your comfort zone? The Stoics practiced what they called voluntary hardship. They would deliberately expose themselves to uncomfortable situations, cold showers, fasting, sleeping on hard surfaces, not because they enjoyed suffering, but because they understood that comfort is the enemy of growth. Here's a practical example. Next time you're about to take an elevator, take the stairs instead. When you want to order takeout, cook a meal from scratch. When you're tempted to blast the AC, sit with the heat for a while. These small challenges build what the Stoics called inner citadel, a fortress of mental strength that no external circumstance can breach. Lesson 3. The power of perspective. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. These words from Marcus Aurelius lead us to our third lesson, which might be the most powerful tool for maintaining your peace of mind in difficult situations. The Stoics discovered something remarkable about human psychology. It's not the events themselves that cause our emotional reactions, but our interpretations of these events. As Epictetus famously said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." Let me give you a real-world example. Imagine you're stuck in traffic. Most people would feel frustrated, angry even. But what if you viewed this delay as an opportunity? An opportunity to listen to that audiobook you've been meaning to start, to practice your patience, to plan your day, or simply to breathe and reflect. Same situation, different perspective, completely different emotional experience. This isn't about toxic positivity or pretending everything is great when it isn't. It's about developing the mental flexibility to see situations from multiple angles. When you face a challenge, ask yourself, is there another way to look at this? What opportunity might be hidden in this obstacle? The Stoics practiced this by regularly contemplating worst-case scenarios, a technique they called negative visualization, or premeditatio malorum. Instead of making them anxious, this practice helped them appreciate what they had and prepared them for any eventuality. Think about your current challenges. Maybe you're dealing with a difficult boss, financial stress, or personal relationships issues. How might these situations look different if you viewed them as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles to your happiness? What if every difficulty was actually a chance to practice virtue, build character, or develop resilience? Seneca puts this perfectly. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. By mastering your perspective, you gain the power to transform any situation from a burden into a stepping stone toward your growth. Lesson 4. The present moment is all we have. You know how we often catch ourselves dwelling on past mistakes or anxiously anticipating future problems? Well, Marcus Aurelius had something profound to say about this. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. This brings us to our fourth lesson, which is absolutely crucial for becoming unstoppable in life. The present moment is our only point of power. The Stoics understood that while we often live in our memories of the past or our anticipation of the future, the only moment we can actually influence is right now. Think about it. How much of your mental energy is spent replaying past events or worrying about future scenarios? Yet, as Seneca wisely noted, We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. The past is unchangeable, the future is uncertain, but the present moment, this is where your power lies. I want you to try something right now. Take a moment to focus completely on what's happening in this instant. Notice your breathing, the sensation of sitting or standing, the sounds around you. This simple practice of present moment awareness is something the Stoics regularly employed to maintain their clarity of mind and purpose. But here's where it gets really practical. When you're facing a challenging situation, instead of getting lost in what-ifs or if-onlys, ask yourself, what can I do right now, in this moment, to move forward? This simple shift in focus can transform paralysis into progress. Lesson 5. Character over reputation. Here's something that might challenge your perspective. In our social media-driven world, we're constantly concerned about our image, our followers, our likes. But listen to what Epictetus had to say about this. If you want to improve, be content to be seen as ignorant or clueless about some things. Don't care about seeming foolish. This fifth lesson is about prioritizing your character over your reputation. The Stoics understood that while reputation is in the hands of others, character is entirely within our control. Marcus Aurelius, despite being the most powerful man in the world, wrote in his private journals, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." Think about the last time you held back from doing something you believed was right because you were worried about what others might think. Maybe it was speaking up against an injustice, pursuing an unconventional career path, or simply admitting you were wrong about something. The Stoics would argue that in these moments, we're sacrificing our character for the sake of our reputation. Here's a powerful way to apply this principle. The next time you're facing a decision, ask yourself, am I choosing this because it's right or because it will look good to others? Your answer will tell you a lot about your current priorities. And remember, as Seneca pointed out, the greatest power we have is the power of choice. Every time you choose principle over popularity, truth over trends, and character over convenience, you're building an unshakable foundation for your life. Lesson 6. The power of self-discipline. Now, let's talk about something that might not be popular in our instant gratification culture, but it's absolutely essential for becoming unstoppable. Epictetus said it best, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Self-discipline isn't about punishment or restriction, it's about freedom. The Stoics understood that true freedom comes from mastering our impulses rather than being enslaved by them. When you can say no to short-term pleasures for long-term gains, when you can stick to your principles despite temptation, when you can maintain your course despite distractions, that's when you become truly powerful. Think of self-discipline like building a muscle. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you follow through on your commitments, every time you choose the harder right over the easier wrong, you're strengthening this muscle. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Here's a practical approach to building this power. Start with small commitments. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier, reading for 20 minutes daily, or exercising for just 15 minutes. The size of the commitment matters less than the consistency of keeping it. Remember, as Epictetus taught, first say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. Lesson 7. Accepting what we cannot change, and now we arrive at our final lesson, perhaps the most powerful of all. The Stoics had a concept called amor fati, the love of fate. This doesn't mean passive resignation to circumstances. Rather, it's about embracing reality exactly as it is while working to change what we can. Epictetus, who was born a slave and suffered a permanent disability, put it this way: don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen and you will go on well. This might sound like giving up, but it's actually the key to becoming truly unstoppable. Here's why. When you stop fighting against unchangeable realities, you free up enormous amounts of energy to focus on what you can actually influence. Think about how much energy we waste wishing things were different, wishing we were taller, wishing we had different parents, wishing we had started something earlier in life. The Stoics would say, accept these unchangeable facts completely, then ask, given this reality, what's the best move I can make right now? This combination of radical acceptance and focused action is incredibly powerful. Bringing it all together. So let's pull all these lessons together. The path to becoming unstoppable isn't about never facing obstacles. It's about approaching them with the right mindset and tools. Remember, focus on what you can control and accept what you can't. Embrace discomfort as your teacher. Master your perspective on every situation. Stay grounded in the present moment. Build your character regardless of your reputation. Develop unwavering self-discipline. Accept reality while working to change what you can. As we wrap up, I want to share one final quote from Marcus Aurelius that beautifully summarizes everything we've discussed. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. These Stoic principles have survived for over 2,000 years because they work. They've guided emperors through wars, philosophers through persecution, and countless individuals through their personal challenges. And now, they can help you become unstoppable in your own life. Before you go, I want you to think about one area in your life where you can apply these principles starting today. Maybe it's that challenge you've been avoiding, that habit you've been trying to build, or that situation you've been wishing was different. Choose one principle and commit to applying it for the next week. Remember, as Seneca said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Your opportunity to transform your life is right here, right now. The only question is, are you prepared to take the first step? Thank you for staying with me through this journey. If you found value in these timeless principles, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who might need to hear this message today. Until next time, stay strong, stay stoic, and keep pushing forward.